stock market remained range-bound as investors opted for profit-taking following the recent rise in share prices. Even though the benchmark KSE 100 index opened in the positive zone, lackluster activity pulled the index down by as much as 321 points in intraday trading. The trading volume remained dry on the main board, while healthy activity was witnessed in third-tier stocks. Profit-taking appears to be in response to the staff-level agreement of Pakistan with the International Monetary Fund on the combined 7th and 8th reviews. The positive news triggered a rally in the shares market in the outgoing week, which recorded an increase in the average daily traded volume by 97% and in value by 113% on a week-on-week basis. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif announced slashing the price of petrol by 18 rupees 50 paisa and diesel rates by 40 rupees and 54 paisas after a decline in global oil prices.
डीजल की मद में 40 रुपए 54 पैसे की कमी की जा रही है और पेट्रोल की मद में 18 रुपए 50 पैसे की कमी की जा रही है और ये अल्लाह ताला ने जो अपनी कमाल मेहरबानी से जो मौका अता किया है, इस कमी का एक एक पैसा ये कौम के हवाले किया जा रहा है।
On Friday, the federal cabinet directed concerned center and provincial authorities to ensure that the impact of the cut in petroleum prices immediately reached the people in the shape of reduced fares and transportation costs. The International Monetary Fund has said that its agreement with Pakistan would lead to a straightaway disbursement of $1.17 billion to the country. IMF's communication director, Jerry Rice, said that this brings the total disbursement from the IMF to Pakistan under the ongoing program to about $4.2 billion.
In the case of Ghana, we issued a statement within the last 24 hours on Pakistan. I want to refer you to that. It was that we have reached, the substance of it was we've reached a staff level agreement with Pakistan. It's been much in the news, and it's an agreement on a combined 7th and 8th review of the program that we do have with Pakistan. That will translate into about 1.17 million being dispersed to Pakistan pretty much straight away. And a reminder that this brings total disbursements from the IMF to Pakistan under the ongoing program to well over $4 billion, about $4.2 billion, and we're hoping this will help to stabilize the economy and, amongst other things, help expand the social safety net to protect the most vulnerable, accelerate structural reforms, and stabilize the macroeconomic, help stabilize the macroeconomic situation in Pakistan. That's what I have. The statement is quite substantive. Heather, you want to come in on Pakistan, follow up?
The Pakistani rupee lost 1 rupee and 1 paisa against the dollar in interbank trade, with the greenback closing at 210 rupees and 95 paisas. After reaching a peak of 211 rupees 93 paisa on June 22nd, the dollar started declining for a brief period and fell to a low of 204 rupees 56 paisa on July 4th. However, the strength gained by the rupee after $2.3 billion Chinese inflows evaporated within a couple of weeks as the dollar snapped the rupee's rising streak. Since then, the greenback has continued to rise with a slight reversal of trend on Thursday. Banks' advances witnessed a significant increase of 21% in the outgoing fiscal year, reflecting the higher economic growth during the year ended on June 30th. The financial year, which saw an economic growth of 6%, noted a very high growth in advances by both conventional and Islamic banks, with the advances by the private sector increasing by 142.5%. Despite surging prices, record fuel and interest rates, curbs on auto financing, and the suspension of advance booking by some assemblers, the sales of cars, jeeps, and pickups posted an all-time high in the fiscal year of 2022. However, a marginal decline was seen in sales of 2- and 3-wheelers. The US House of Representatives has passed a legislative amendment that will protect India from punitive sanctions for buying missiles from Russia. The India-specific amendment, passed on Thursday afternoon, still has to go through the Senate before it's signed by President Joe Biden. Authored and introduced by Indian-American Congressman Ro Khanna, it urges the Biden administration to give India a waiver to the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, which can bring immediate sanctions against New Delhi for buying weapons from Moscow. The amendment argues that such a waiver is needed to deter China's influence in the region. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, more than doubled the amount of Russian fuel it imported in the second quarter to feed power stations to meet summer cooling demand and free up the kingdom's own crude for export. Russia has been selling fuel at discounted prices after international sanctions over its invasion of Ukraine left it with fewer buyers. Moscow calls the war in Ukraine a special military operation. The increased sales of fuel oil used in power generation to Saudi Arabia show the challenge that US President Joe Biden faces as his administration seeks to isolate Russia and cut its energy export revenues. While many countries have banned or discouraged purchases from Russia, China, India, and several African and Middle Eastern nations have increased imports.